Hey guys, here for the GPD Win 2 review, and all of you who are watching this video, you better subscribe to the button, otherwise I'm going to jump off our balcony, and I don't really want to. The GPD Win 2 is one of the smallest laptops in the freaking world, and this thing packs an incredible punch. You can play games on this thing. It's really cool. Now, a lot of people just use this as an emulation machine, and that's perfectly fine. But I prefer to use it as a portable PC, so I've been playing things like Batman Arkham and Fortnite. I also use it to stream. It's my main PC, and it probably always will be. But the real question is, what can it really do, and is it really right for you to buy? So here's some specs on the screen for you guys. Pause if you need to see it. But it has a really well built button layout. It has all the Xbox buttons. There's no clicks in the control sticks, so there's 3 triggers on the back. You also use triggers to right click, left click, and speed up the mouse when you're on mouse controls. Keyboard's well built, and overall it's just really impressive to hold. The display is a 720p display, and really that doesn't really bother you, especially when you're gaming. You can't really notice when you're in handheld form. It has a 60Hz refresh rate, so that's pretty nice. It also has a touchscreen display, which means you can reach over and tap what you need. Comes in pretty handy when you don't want to use the mouse or if you're on the controller mode. It also has really good viewing angles. I've never had problems with the screen, and it's always been really nice during my use. So here we have Fortnite booting up. Just kind of shows you that this can handle pretty well. I also connect my Bluetooth Xbox controller. It can connect just like any Windows computer with any controller that you have that's pairable via Bluetooth. And I actually recommend just using the Bluetooth controller because when you're holding it, it gets a little hot. These are also my settings I use during the gameplay, and it runs pretty smoothly. As you can see, there's not really any stutters, but that's after tweaking BIOS and other settings, which I'll show you later. And this is some audio that you guys can hear. And the controllers do click, so you can see that. Sounds like a mouse. I prefer the sound because it makes me feel like I'm holding kind of a mousy keyboard feel. But here's just some gameplay, so I'll let you guys enjoy. When it comes to streaming, you generally need a pretty powerful PC anyway. So this is kind of at the lower ends of things. But if you want to stream, I do recommend you downloading Streamlabs OBS because you can really help optimize your performance for streaming. I still stream at 720p at a decently high bitrate, but that's because Streamlabs offers some more things. Like, for example, custom encoders really help it out. So I'll show you in the settings. You want to make sure that you have confirm stream title because that will allow you to change your encoder. You also want to make sure that if you're in output that you're on ultra fast. You're gonna have to enable those 2 checkboxes as well because that'll help you out. So once you exit out of that, you have to click done. It's kind of weird at the full screen because it's awkward on here. But once you go live, a little message will pop up, and you can see Fortnite's there. Specific games let you already choose an encoder, but if you want to do like some other game, it'll just do optimize encoder. So if it's an optimized game, it'll show up as the game and it works more well, but you just want to make sure to choose low or medium. I don't recommend you saying to do not show the box because you will not be able to change it later, so just keep that in mind. Here I'm going into the BIOS, so you want to shut down the device all the way, and then once it's fully shut down, you're gonna have to hold the power button to pull it back up, and while you're powering on, keep holding the delete key. Do not stop. Once you're in BIOS, you want to make sure you go to Advanced, Power and Preference, CPU, and then Config TDP Configurations. Use the arrow keys and Enter key to navigate. Escape goes back. You want to make sure that Config TDP is set to up. Press up arrow to get to the bottom or to scroll all the way down. And make sure your power limit 1 and 2 are both set to 10,000. In other words, 10 watts. You can also do the 128, but that's just my preference. You don't really have to do that. If you want, just make sure everything looks the same, then hit escape to get back out of this. Once you're back, you want to go back to advanced and you want to go to overclocking. Now I want to make sure that all of these are enabled, especially XTU interface. You want to Google XTU interface and download what you see. It will be the Intel Extreme Utility Tool. You want to make sure you have that downloaded so that way when you get back on, you can do it, but this has to be enabled in BIOS before you can actually use it. So once you've Googled the XTU interface, you're gonna have to install and reboot the system once again. But once you do that, get back home and you can boot it up like this. And you wanna make sure you have these settings set here. So the first thing you're gonna see is I think it's like the power maximum or something. It's to the right, it's usually set to 7 watt default. I normally raise it to 9 watts or 10 watts because that'll really boost your performance. But the bigger thing here is the power clocking speed, which is at the bottom left corner. You can see what you want to set that as 128 seconds because that will give you the best performance. There's a couple things you can mess around with that. At default, it is not there, but to change it first, you're going to have to reboot the system. Now a big concern for most people might be the screen size, and all you have to get is a mini HDMI cord. I have an adapter that you can see on screen, and you just plug it in, you can plug it in a TV, mirror display, it works very well. Here's some gameplay of Gang Beasts with my little sister playing local. Graphically, you kind of want to set it here just because this game doesn't freaking handle too well. But I don't know, because it's weird messing with things, but you do want to make sure that you have input set to X. Hold up, like slow. This is one of the laggy stages, actually. I forget how to play. Get the freak out of here. Get out! No! Now I'm gonna die, you freak! Ah! That sound, police! Yeet!
Move!
Sorry. You're a little excited. Let go, mate. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Ow! I suck in this game. Yes! Get in there! No! 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 Lexi! Oh my god! Yay! Oh, isn't that too bad? Let me hold your hand. Let's dance, Lexi. Oh, oh no. What are you gonna do about it, Lexi? Listen to me. We're going out. Yeah, this is the right way. Good job. Keep going. Keep going. Overall, the GPD2 Win handles extremely well. I mean, it's my favorite PC I've ever used, and I don't know if that'll ever change. Also, some honorable mentions are the device does get a little hot in your hands, and it has a USB 3.0 port and charges via USB-C, and you can use a micro SD as storage. That is all. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Leave a like, subscribe, and see ya.